visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So today we'll be learning about drug dose calculations. Okay, it's a easy topic, but some of you must be facing difficulty with mathematics. So I will try to give simple formula which you could easily use to solve the drug dose problems. Okay, why is it important? First of all, academically, in practicals, there is a 2 mark question given. Okay, so total practical is of 40 marks. Out of that, 2 marks are for this drug dose problem, and that constitutes around 5% marks, which you can easily get in full. Okay, provided you solve the query. So, drug dose calculations, very simple question, is asked in practical exams, carries 2 marks, which you can easily get if you know how to solve the problems. Okay, I will give you some quick formulas. Okay, one or two, within 2 or 3 steps, you would be able to solve any problem. Okay, so let's begin. So, before moving on, you must be familiar with certain common medical terms which we use in on prescription. Okay. Although use of this abbreviations is currently discouraged, and it is advised that the prescription should be in a simple language which could easily be understood by the patient as well as the pharmacist. So I hope you are familiar with this abbreviations. BID or BD stands for, that means the drug is to be taken 2 times a day. For example, paracetamol 500 milligram BD. That means 500 milligram, one tablet of paracetamol of 500 milligram strength is to be taken 2 times daily. Then similarly, there is TID or TDS. That means the drug is to be taken 3 times a day. And QID, that means 4 times a day. Then Q stands for every. So if it is QD, that means every day. Sometimes OD is also used. It's a misnomer. OD stands for left eye installation, but OD is commonly considered as once daily. Okay. The ideal abbreviation is QD. Similarly, if you want to give the drug every 2 hours, then you have to write like Q2H. Q stands for every 2 hours. And HS stands for horasomni, that means to be taken at bedtime or sleep time. Then PO stands for the drug is to be taken orally. Then PRN or SOS, again SOS is a misnomer. There is no such Latin abbreviation as SOS, but it is commonly used. The actual abbreviation for as and when needed is PRN. Okay, both means as and when needed. Then U is for units, or IU, that is for international units. IM, intramuscular, IV, intravenous, SC, subcutaneous injection. I hope these are very already clear to you. And tablet is written as T dot or tab, and capsule as T dot or cap. Okay. So these are the common medical terms which are commonly used on the prescription. And uh, again, I would like to mention that use of this abbreviation is discouraged nowadays. They should be clearly written in a language which a patient can easily understand. So let's begin with the formula. Okay. So dose formula. This is the formula for calculating the individual dose for one dose. Formula is like that. Doctor's order, that's D multiplied by the quantity, that is Q, divided by supply on hand. So in short, it is dq by h. D multiplied by q divided by h will give you this one-time dose that is to be administered to the patient. Okay. What does D stands for? So doctor's order. Doctor's order is actually the name and amount of the medicine that is prescribed by the doctor. So suppose the doctor prescribes a tablet paracetamol 500 milligrams. So this 500 milligrams will be the D, that is doctor's order. Okay. Then comes H, that is supply on hand. Supply on hand is the amount per item of the medication that is available in the pharmacy. So each medicine tablet or is in the each medicine in the form of tablet, capsule, or even syrup is manufactured in a particular strength only. Suppose paracetamol is manufactured in the strength of 125 milligram tablet only. Okay, but how much we want to give? The doctor wants to give is 500 milligram. But the tablet which is available in the market is, for example, suppose it is of 125 milligram only. So that constitutes the supply on hand. So H will come here. That is the strength of the tablet or strength of the capsule or the amount present in the syrup. Okay. And Q is the quantity, the form of medication such as tablet, capsule, or milliliter. This is much more helpful in liquid preparations. Okay. So quantity refers to how much tablet or capsule is there. Okay. So supply on hand would be like 125 milligram tablet and quantity would be one tablet. So one tablet constitutes around 125 milligrams. So Q would be 1 in that case. This value of Q is more beneficial in liquid preparation where the drug is dissolved in certain milliliter of the solution. For example, if it is a syrup, then if 125 milligram paracetamol is dissolved in 5 milliliters, then Q would be 5 milliliters. Okay. So uh, this will give you the dosage. So dosage is the amount of medication to be given in single dose. Okay, one time. So with example, we'll see it will become more clear. Okay. So this is the first example. So suppose there is this Dr. Monica who has prescribed 30 milligram of any medicine for her patient. Now the drug label on the medicine indicates that the medicine is supplied in 60 milligram per tablet. Okay. So and we will use the dosage formula to calculate the correct dose of the medication. So Dr. Monica has prescribed 30 milligram. She wants her patient to take 30 milligram of drug. But in the market, the tablet which is available is in the 60 milligram strength. Tablet available is in 60 milligram strength. So now we have to calculate how much tablet or how many tablets should a patient take at single time. Okay. So we have this formula that is doctor's order. Doctor's order is 30 milligrams. Okay. Supply on hand will be 60 milligrams because it is the strength in which it is available to us. Okay. So 60 milligram Q will be the quantity. 60 milligram is available in how much tablet? It's available in one tablet. So if you put all these values, you will get 0.5. You have to administer zero point 0.5 tablet, or basically one dose will be the half tablet. So to achieve this 30 milligram dose, the patient must take half tablet of a 60 milligram strength tablet. Okay. So let's see another example to make it much more clearer. So suppose this is a patient of malaria. Okay. So 60 milligram of chloroquine has been diluted into 500 ml of 5% of dextrose. Now we have to calculate the volume of solution needed at a dose of 10 mg per kg for 2 hours in a patient of cerebral malaria of 48 kilograms. So patient is of 48 kilograms. How much dose the doctor wants to give? That is 10 mg per kg. 10 mg per kg dose is to be given to a 48 kilogram patient. Okay. What would be the quantity which is what would be the supply in hand we have? Supply in hand is we have is 600 milligram of chloroquine is available to us, and it is available in how much quantity? It is available in 500 ml quantity of 5% dextrose. Here the type of solution doesn't matter while calculating the dosage. Okay, it could be a normal saline as well, it could be 10% dextrose. Okay, what matters is the total quantity which is available to us. Now if we put it into the formula, this is our formula for calculating the dose, how much drug is to be administered. So D will be 48 into 10, because the dose is 10 mg per kg and the patient is of 48 kilograms. So the total dose, or this is the total dose which is to be administered to the patient. So this will be the D doctor's order. Supply on hand, how much drug we have? We have 600 milligram of chloroquine with us, and it is dissolved in how much quantity? Dissolved in 500 ml. So if we put all these values in a formula, what we get is 480 multiplied by 500 divided by 600. That is 400 ml of this 5% dextrose must be administered to the patient in order to achieve this 480 milligram of chloroquine. Is it clear?
Sir, can you
So,
repeat the line?
okay. Which part you didn't understand?
Sir, 400 ml of 5% dextrose.
Okay. So how much dose the doctor's order is? He wants to administer 480 milligrams, because the dose is of chloroquine is 10 mg per kg. The weight of the patient is 48 kilograms. The total dose which the doctor has ordered is 400 milligrams. But what we have is with us is 600 milligrams of chloroquine is available, which has been diluted in 500 ml. Okay, it has to be given through intravenous route. Okay, so if we had just 480 milligrams available with us, it would have been easy. Okay, we would have infused all of the 500 ml. But what we have in hand is 600 milligram of chloroquine, which is dissolved in 500 ml of dextrose. So how much out of this 500 ml we need to administer so that the patient receives a total of 480 milligrams? Okay.
Yes,
That
sir.
is what we are calculating here. Okay. So total dose we have calculated, and supply in hand is 600 milligrams of chloroquine, and the quantity is 500 ml. If you put that in formula, what we get is 400 ml. So out of this 500 ml, if we infuse only 400 ml, the target dose will be achieved. Okay. So similarly, this is another question. Okay, why don't you people solve this and tell me the answer? Okay, that way I would be able to know how much you are understanding this. So a child is suffering from fever and was prescribed 750 milligrams of paracetamol in 3 divided doses per day. Okay. Now the preparation or the syrup contains the syrup of paracetamol. The bottle contains 125 milligrams of paracetamol in 5 milliliter solution. So how many teaspoons or how much dose will you give? Okay, solve this. Try to solve this. Okay, so 750 milligrams. I will give you some hint. like 750 milligram is to be administered in 3 divided doses. Okay, so single dose will be, divide
250.
this by 250, right? Correct. So that would be the single dose. So doctor wants to administer 250 milligrams. So the 250 milligram will be doctor's order. Supply in hand is, so this is supply in hand, that is 125 milligrams is supply in
125.
hand. Okay, and the quantity is 125 milligram is present in how much quantity? It is present in the 5 ml of the syrup. So put everything in the formula.
2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoon, correct. So 1 teaspoon is equal to 5 ml. So you can either directly say 10 ml of syrup is to be administered, or 2 teaspoons at a time should be given to the patient. Okay, this is a common problem, especially in pediatric formulations, because parents don't know how much syrup is to be administered. Okay, and sometimes even doctors also don't know how much is to be administered. They only know that, yeah, I want to give they were, what they have studied is that 70 to 50 milligram of paracetamol is to be given daily, okay, in 3 divided doses. That much they know. But how much syrup, what is the quantity of paracetamol available in the syrup, and how to achieve that, most of them, or some of them, I would say, don't know that, and they are not very clear in this communication. That creates a lot of problem, and there could be overdosing or underdosing. Okay, so with the help of this simple formula, you can easily determine, okay, the quantity is written on the bottles, okay, that how much drug is available and how much ml of the solution, and using this simple formula, you can easily come to know that how much ml or how much teaspoon is to be administered to the kid. Okay. So some conversion factors that you should know, okay, and some you must be knowing a lot of them. Okay, so pound to kilogram. Okay, so kilogram to pound, just multiply the kilogram with factor 2.2, and you can convert it into pounds. And if you want to convert pounds into kilograms, then divide the pounds by 2.2, and you can get the weight in kilograms. Liter, milliliter, you already know. Okay, ounces. Sometimes the measurements are in ounces. Okay. So 1 ounce is equal to 30 ml. Roughly 30 ml. It is exactly it is around 29.5 ml. But for all practical purposes, we assume that 1 ounce is equal to 30 ml. Then 1 teaspoon, that is chota chammach, is equal to 5 ml. And while 1 tablespoon, that is bada chammach, is equal to 15 ml. And carry 15 ml of liquid. Then 1 cup is equal to 240 ml. And milligram to gram, you already know. Micrograms is again 1,000 times the milligram. And coming to next formula, okay, flow rate, again very important. Okay, so you want to know at what rate the drug should be administered through infusion set. Okay, so this is also very important. Usually nurses do this in a tertiary care center, so it is not much of a worry. But suppose you are working in a periphery, or you are doing private practice, then this could become essential, because you may be good in diagnosis, you might know the best treatment available to the patient. You also know how to put the cannula, but if you don't know how to calculate the flow rate, or at what rate the drug should be given, administered, then all your knowledge will be futile, because ultimately uh, the administering drug at a proper rate is the most essential step. Yeah, you cannot give it with a very rapid speed also, that could be harmful, and you cannot give it with very slow speed also. So how to calculate the flow rate? So again, formula is very simple. All rates are function of time. Remember, okay? So just like in a school, the formula of speed is distance upon time. So similarly here, flow rate is like total volume divided by time. That is infusion time. Unit could be ml per hour or ml per minute. Okay. Usually ml per minute is used because it is easier to monitor and calculate. So based on this formula, okay, we can derive other things also, like suppose sometimes just like in a speed formula, sometimes distance and time are given and speed is asked. Sometimes speed and time are given and distance is asked. So similarly, same thing can happen. Sometimes they may give you total volume and flow rate and ask you in how much time the bottle will get empty. Okay. Or sometimes they will give you a flow rate and infusion time, and they will ask you how much volume will be infused. Okay, so these two formulas are derived from this only. Okay, flow rate. Now infusion, another important formula is drop rate. Okay, so drop all the IV sets or infusion sets have a dropper from which the with the help of which we regulate the infusion rate. Okay, so by counting the number of drops, you can actually calculate the flow rate. Okay, each IV set has a drop factor mentioned on the packet itself. You can check the packet, and the drop factor is mentioned on that. And what that drop factor means is that suppose the drop factor is 20, that means the 20 drops will constitute 1 milliliter of the solution. So if 20 drops have passed, that means 1 milliliter of the solution has passed. Okay. So drop rate formula is volume, total volume into drop factor divided by infusion time. Okay. Or simply you can say that flow rate multiplied by drop rate is equal to, oh sorry, drop factor. Okay. Flow rate multiplied by drop factor is equal to drop rate. We have already seen the formula for flow rate is total volume divided by infusion time. Here also same thing, total volume divided by infusion time, and just multiply it with drop factor, and that will give you drop rate. Okay, so flow rate into drop factor is equal to drop rate. So based on this, a lot of questions can be asked. Okay, so this is a simple exercise, okay, which we'll do. So suppose 1200 ml of dextrose 5% is ordered to be infused intravenously in 10 hours by infusion pump. Now calculate the flow rate in milliliters per hour. Okay, so simple formula says volume is total volume which we have to administer is 1200 ml. Total infusion time is 10 hours. Okay. Now with the help of what is the formula for flow rate? Flow rate is equal to total volume divided by infusion time. Adding all the values, you will get 120 ml per hour, or you can convert the hour into minutes. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes, so 60 will come here, and that will give you around 20 ml per minute would be the rate. If you infuse the solution with this rate, this 1200 ml solution will be finished in 10 hours. Okay, if you maintain this rate, the flow rate. Okay, and next question is for any doubts in this particular question? Anyone? Any doubts? The simple formula. Okay, let's move ahead. This one is for calculating the drop rate. So this is the IV set where you can see that this you must have seen in OPD, sorry, in IPDs and wards, even in movies. There is this dropper. Okay. So the exercise is calculate the IV drop rate for 1200 ml of normal saline to be infused in 6 hours. The infusion set is calibrated for a drop factor of 15 drops per ml. Okay, the drop factor is 15 drops per ml. That means 15 drops will constitute 1 ml. So let's solve this. Okay, so this is the formula. Okay, volume, total volume into drop factor divided by time. So we can convert those hours into minutes. So 6 hours, that means 6 into 60, that is 360 minutes. Put all the values in the formula. Total volume is 1200 ml multiplied by drop factor. Drop factor is 15 drops per ml mentioned here, and the total infusion time is 360. If you solve this, it will come to 50 drops per minute. Okay. So what this you must have seen then what the nurses do, they regulate this drop rate. Okay. So they will count it for a minute, like, so if 50 drops are coming in a single minute, that means in 6 hours this 1200 ml will be finished. Okay. Or you can just count for 30 seconds. If in 30 seconds 25 drops have passed, that means this flow rate can be achieved. That means the 1200 milliliters of normal saline will be completely infused in the 6 hours. Any doubts in this? Because next question you people will be solving. Okay. So this problem, again you have to calculate the flow rate. So a patient is there, Anju, body weight is 42 kilograms, and the doctor has ordered 1 mg per kg per hour of morphine to infusion bag, which contains 50 milligrams of morphine in 500 ml normal saline. Now you have to calculate the flow rate in milliliter per minute.
ये तो बाद में बहुत गंदा सुना सकती है
Okay, try to solve this using all the formulas which have been given to you. First, calculate the dose, total dose using the first formula. Okay, how much total dose is to be administered to this patient? Anyone got the answer?
So 7 ml per minute.
7 ml per minute. Okay. Anyone begs to differ? Okay, so you're right, 7 ml per minute. So let's see how it is calculated. So first you need to calculate the total dose. Okay, so it is 42 kilograms of body weight patient, and he is to be administered 1 mg per kg. Okay, for a minute, let's leave the hour part away. Okay, so the total dose would be 1 mg per kg. Okay, dose is 42 into 1. Okay, and the quantity is sorry, the supply in hand is what we have is 50 milligram of morphine, which is dissolved in 500 ml. So supply on hand would be 50, H will be 50, and Q will be 500. So this is the total dose of which is to be administered. That is 420 ml of the solution is to be administered to the patient. This is the total dose or the total volume. Now what they are asking is the flow rate. Again, the formula for flow rate is total volume divided by the infusion time. Total volume is 420 ml. Infusion time is per hour. So infusion time is 1 hour, and 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. And if you put all the values in the formula, so flow rate will be 420 divided by 60, that is 7 ml per minute. Any problem in this? Without the formula also some people can solve this. There are multiple ways you can solve this question, but if you use this formula correctly, you can see just in 5 steps you can get the answer. By other methods, if you use, you will be confused and it may take some time. But if you know this formula well, it would be much easier, and within 4 or 5 steps, within 2 minutes, you can easily solve any question on the drug test calculation. Okay. Indirectly also people can do. Okay, there are various methods you can do. Okay, but those are time consuming and confusing, and they will give you wrong results also if you are not very good in maths. Those who are good in maths can easily do it even without this formula also. Okay, but these are simple formulas which can help you solve in hardly 2 or 3 steps. So okay, so solve this next question. Okay, the physician orders gentamicin 90 milligram intravenously 12 hourly. Okay, 12 hourly means after every 12 hours. Okay, it doesn't mean it has to be infused for 12 hours. Okay, do not get confused. And available to nurses 100 ml of 5% dextrose, the distilled water with 90 milligram of gentamicin with instructions to infuse over 1 hour. The IV tubing delivers 20 drops per ml. The patient will receive how many drops per minute? So here you have to calculate the drop rate. Okay. Now again try to solve this. First calculate the dose, total volume, and then it would be easier to calculate the drop rate. Okay, anyone got the answer?
33.3.
33.3, or roughly you can say 33 drops per minute. Okay. So anybody got any other result?
Same result.
Same. Okay. So I hope all of you got the same result. If anybody didn't get, no problem. Okay, let's see the steps. Okay, so always you have to calculate the total dose which has to be administered, for which we will use that formula dq by h. So dq, D stands for doctor's order. How much doctor wants to give? So physician orders gentamicin 90 milligrams. That will be D, 90 milligrams. Okay. How much is in hand? So how we have is available to nurses 100 ml of 5% dextrose water with 90 milligram of. So we have equal amount. Okay. So 90 milligram is available. In how much quantity is it available? It is available in 100 ml solution. Q will be 100. So that total dose will be 100 ml. So that means we have to finish uh, this whole bag of distilled water. Okay. Now what we have to calculate is drop factor. Drop factor formula is total volume multiplied by drop factor divided by total time. Okay. Total volume is 100 ml, which we have calculated here. Drop factor is 20 drops per ml. Okay, it is mentioned here in the query question. Total time in which we want to infuse is 1 hour. It is mentioned here. Infuse over 1 hour. 1 hour is converted into minutes for easier calculation. Okay. So drop rate will be 33.33 drops, or since we cannot calculate drops in we can calculate drops only in absolute terms, so it would be 33 drops per minute. If you keep this much drop rate, okay, then all of this solution will be infused within an hour, okay, or slightly more than an hour. Clear? Any doubts, any questions?
Sir, what is the importance of IV 12 hourly?
IV 12 hourly means it is to be repeated every 12 hourly. Single dose won't be enough to achieve the cure. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So these are just क्या बोलते हैं ना, to misguide you. Some people will use 12 instead of 1. Okay. So these are distractions. 12, 5%. Okay. Get you distracted into choosing these numbers. Okay. If your focus is clear, you want to, you know in formula what you want to use, what values are relevant to your question, then you would be able to solve easily. Otherwise, you will get confused with this. Some people will use 12 as infusion time. Okay, that will give a different answer. Okay. So let's move ahead, and so then there are some other important formula also. Okay. So especially this, so certain drugs are come in vial or ampules, and their concentration is mentioned. For example, like epinephrine is 1 is to 1000 concentration, or epinephrine is 1 is to 1 lakh concentration. Okay, what does that mean? So if a drug is the concentration of a drug on an ampule or vial is mentioned in like this, 1 is to 1000. So the numerator, the value of numerator is always in grams, while the value which is in the denominator is always in milliliters. Okay. So if the concentration is 1 is to 1000, that means 1 gram of that drug is dissolved in 1000 ml of solution. Okay. Or if it was 1 is to 10, that means 1 gram of that drug is dissolved in 10 ml solution. Okay, so numerator is in grams while the denominator is in ml. We'll see examples. Okay. And similarly, sometimes the concentration, uh, the concentration is mentioned in the percentage. Okay, 1% drug solution or 10% drug solution, 15% drug solution. Okay, so this will be mentioned on the ampules or vials. What does that mean? So as you all know, the percentage is always out of 100. Okay, you get 80% out of 100. Remember, whenever the value is given in 100, it means is grams in 100 ml. Whatever is the value that is in grams and that is present in the 100 ml of that solution. 1% adrenaline, that means 1 gram of adrenaline is present in the 100 ml of solution. Okay, so percentage is out of 100. Okay. So here also the first value is in grams and that is present in the 100 ml solution. And sometimes, usually these questions are not asked in the drug loss calculations, but in the spotting and all, we may give you questions related to loading dose or maintenance dose or half-life. So this formula are also important. So note down them for in order to make the query more complex. We may give certain values. Like instead of directly giving the dose, we will give you volume of distribution of the drug is this much and its steady state plasma concentration is this much. So you will get confused how to calculate the dose. So if you know this formula of loading dose, that way also you can calculate. So note down this formula and all of this are given in your books also. Okay. And similarly, maintenance dose formula is clearance multiplied by steady state concentration. And half-life formula is 0.693 multiplied by volume of distribution divided by clearance. Okay. So, this 5 formulas and 3 formulas I already taught you. Okay, in total 8 formula you should know before coming for practical examination. Okay, let's see an example. Okay, so this is an adrenaline vial. This is a means we commonly ask about the uses of adrenaline and you will say anaphylactic shock. Okay, so but how to give? Okay, so it comes in a vial. This is a vial. Solid glass tubing is sorry. This is an ampule. Okay, ampule is a solid glass bottle, a small bottle, and it is a single use. Once you break it off, you cannot seal it again. Okay, so usually it carries single dose, and the concentration will be mentioned here. So 1:1000 solution it comes. So a patient of suppose anaphylactic shock comes to you. Now you are very brilliant. You know you have to administer adrenaline. Okay, you also know that you must administer 0.5 milligram of adrenaline intramuscularly, but the bottle does not mention it is in the values in milligram or milligram per ml. Okay, here we don't have that Q and H available to us clearly. Okay, only the concentration is mentioned. In spite of knowing everything, but if you are not very clear how to decode this 1:1000, uh, in spite of having all the knowledge and resources, you won't be able to help the patient. Okay, so that is these things are important clinically also. Okay, so this here's the question. But now, since you know that 1:1000 stands for the numerator stands for the gram, and while the value in the denominator is in milliliters, so 1:1000 means 1 gram is present in 1000 ml, or gram is converted into milligrams. So that means 1000 milligram is present in the 1000 ml. Even to simplify that, that would mean 1 milligram of adrenaline is present in 1 ml. Now you have already learned from the book that you have to administer 0.5 milligram. Again, use that formula. Okay, d dq by h, and with the help of that formula, you will be able to know that you have to administer 0.5 ml of this solution intramuscularly, and your patient can be saved from the anaphylactic shock. Okay, so but if you are not aware how to decode this ratio, all your knowledge, theoretical knowledge, would be futile. Okay, so important formula to remember. Okay, similarly for percentage. So again, certain drugs come in, the concentration is mentioned in the percentage. Okay, Again, the H and Q are not very clear. So suppose a example comes like a vial. Okay, this is a vial. It carries multiple doses and it has a cap on the top. So that is the difference between ampule and a ampules are for single use, and vials can be carries multiple doses. Okay. So a vial contains bupivacaine 0.5% and adrenaline 0.05%. Okay. Now a patient has been injected 10 ml intrathecally. Now calculate the amount of both the drugs. Okay, you people solve this question and tell me the answer. How much amount of both the drugs has been administered to this patient?
So 0.05 gram bupivacaine and 0.005 gram adrenaline.
ओके तो ये 0 पॉइंट में तो बहुत कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है. इज देयर इजी वे टू से
So convert it
इजी
into
वे में कैसे? यस गुड. सो कन्वर्ट दैट इनटू मिलीग्राम. तो अब कितना हो जाएगा बताओ?
So 50 mg and 5 mg.
Good. So 50 mg and 5 mg. Okay. So again, as I told you, whenever the concentration is mentioned in the percentage is always out of 100. 0.5% means 0.5 grams in 100 ml of solution. Okay, that means so 100 ml contains 0.5 grams. Again, we'll put that value in our dq by h formula. So 10 ml will contain around 50 milligrams of bupivacaine. And similarly, adrenaline is 0.05%. That means 0.05 gram of adrenaline is present in 100 ml. Again, we'll put that in our dq by h formula, and that will give us 5 milligram of adrenaline. Okay. So remember all these 8 formula before coming to the practical examination. Okay. And sometimes in spotting also we put this. It carries just 2 marks, which are very easy to earn. Full marks, 2 marks you can earn within 2 minutes. And if 2 marks sounds very less, remember that the total practical exam is of 40 marks only. So that 2 marks constitute around 5% of your. And if you are someone who hovers around the passing marks, this is a easy 2 marks. Okay, any doubts, any queries in this? This formula are also helpful, beneficial clinically also, because if you are not working in a tertiary care center where you do not have any nursing support, then you would have to do all this by yourself only. Any queries, any doubts? If not, then we can close. Okay then, thank you all.
Thank